Welcome to Blinkers Off with your hosts, Jared Welch and Aaron Halterman.
Hello. What is up? I'm Jared Welch. He's Aaron Halterman. It's Thursday, June 5th, and this is Blinkers Off. What's up, man?
I'm nice and warmed up, man. You got me ready to rock and roll. No pleasantries. Let's get right to it.
I know whenever you told me what time, Magic Mike goes, I'm kind of like, all right, do I go before or after, and I think getting you warmed up is best, for me. I think you got all the takes, the bad takes maybe out a little bit. Yes. Everything's ready to roll. You've honed in on it. Now we're ready to go. So, but all serious, we leave tomorrow for Saratoga. I can't be more excited, honestly. We've been to, I don't even know how many times we've been to Saratoga. Many times over the years. And, this is right up there as far as like the anticipation, other than, of course, the Triple Crown on the line. Yeah. But we've never been to Saratoga with the Triple Crown on the line. So, it's like it just has the build up for a big race day.
Yeah, it's going to be great. It really is going to be great. I am super excited as well. And I am like anxious, and not about travel or whatever, just anxious to get there and watch the races, which is, we've been to so many of them, you almost lose that feeling a little bit. I don't know. I kind of feel like a fan going to this one this time. I don't know if I'm describing it right or not, but I'm very like, I don't know that I'm going to be able to sleep Friday night type of thing, right? I'm just really excited for the day. I think it's going to be a really special day. I think the Belmont's going to be great. And I think all the undercard races look really good as well. So this is setting up to be a good one.
Yeah. I mean, the whole day, like you said, is fantastic. And really you don't have a lot of races that are, I'd say the Woody Stevens is like the only one for me stakes wise that, I think it's going to be a fun race. Don't get me wrong. I'm excited to watch it, but from a, like star quality, maybe there is eventually, there's a lot in there that are cutting back from the Derby type, distance and that kind of, trying to get to the Derby. So, maybe the one who kind of develops from there, but that all these other races have just absolute stars. Spirit of St. Louis has turned into a monster for Chad Brown now. And I know you're excited to see him. And, that it just feels like that kind of day. Obviously, the Met Mile, it's a small field, but, man, it's a good one. Fierceness could be horse of the year. So there's just so many storylines. And, of course, the Belmont. I was thinking about this earlier or yesterday and stuff when I was handicapping. This reminds me a little bit. Now, I think it's better. But it reminds me a little bit of the 2021 Belmont when we had Essential Quality and Hot Rod Charlie and Rombauer, who had won the Preakness. And, again, Essential Quality didn't win the Derby, but he was like the hype horse, obviously. And obviously he had great year after he won the Belmont as well. But doesn't it kind of feel like that? Like those horses kind of coming into the race?
It's so weird you said that. I don't know what show I said it on, but I said that. And I can't remember when we were talking about, non-Triple Crown Belmonts. And I said, it kind of feels like 2021 to me because Essential Quality, you kind of, like you said, he lost the Derby, but he was really wide and you just kind of felt, he might be the best horse. And Hot Rod Charlie was a really likable horse, and you had, like I said, you had Rombauer and it just kind of felt big, and then they ran big. And so it was a lot of fun. So that's what it reminds me of. I think this one has a chance to be better. I really do.
Even like by comparison, it should be better because you have you've got the Derby winner in it. You didn't have the quote unquote Derby winner that year, although everyone kind of Hot Rod Charlie was second at not the time, but you've got the legit rubber match here between the Derby winner and the Preakness winner, and then you've got a legit kind of Hot Rod Charlie type horse, and I think that's a little disrespectful maybe to Baeza, although Hot Rod Charlie was a nice horse, but I just think Baeza is that kind of up and coming now horse. So you kind of have everything you would want out of the Belmont, and some I'd say underneath plays, and some Rodriguez is interesting. Bob Baffert obviously, anytime he's got one in a Triple Crown race, it has some intrigue. So I don't know what else you would want. A Final Gambit maybe running, since he's running on the weekend. Maybe that would have been like the icing on the cake. But at the end of the day, man, I'm excited for this.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like, I think we've got what we wanted. I think we've got the setup. I think we've got the horses that make this thing fun and exciting and intriguing and all the things you want to say. So I'm with you. Like, yeah, do you wish you had 10 or 11 in there? Sure, but I think as long as we got those right 3 or 4, I think the rest is going to be okay. So I'm with you. I'm really pumped about it. I like I said, I think it's going to be awesome. And there's enough intrigue all the way around to where you can make a case for all the big time horses. And that's exciting.
Well, hey, listen, you guys, we've like you said, you freshened them up earlier with on the Magic Mike show. We'll hone in on the Belmont Stakes here, and let's not waste any more time because let's get right to it. We're going to look at the Belmont Stakes, of course, at Saratoga. Will Sovereignty or Journalism take the final Triple Crown race, or will Baeza crash the party and pull off the upset? We will also, guys, stay tuned. We will be running the Racing Dudes Belmont Stakes at the end of the show to announce another $1,000 cash prize winner. The horses I showed you before we got on live, the horses they're in the gate. They're ready to go. They're ready to run, Halterman. So we'll pull that up here after we discuss the Belmont Stakes. Let's go. Yeah, they're ready. I fed them all this morning. They're all. I can't tell you. I can't tell you. Let's see. Who was Muddum? Muddum was
Mud M.
Like Mud M. By the way, guys, funny story about Mud M. He emailed us.
Yes.
And he's like, dude, I was about to drive off the road. I was laughing so hard. He goes, "That's me. I'm." It's like I don't mean to play favorites, but I am totally rooting for you in this.
Mud M, but that is not his real name. Just
shocker. I know, right? I'm surprised you guys, but he is a fan favorite, I'd say safely. And let's see. Hopefully, maybe Mud M can get in the chat. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to it. On Saturday, race 13, the Belmont Stakes, Grade 1, $2 million, mile and a quarter, not a mile and a half, mile and a quarter at Saratoga for the 3-year-olds. And we've got a sweet field lined up of 8, including the Derby winner, Sovereignty, who bypassed the Preakness at 2-1. Journalism, the Preakness winner and Derby runner-up at 8-5. And your third place finisher, Baeza, the 6 horse at 4-1. Rodriguez rounds out the field as far as the kind of like low end shots at 6-1 for Bob Baffert after being scratched out a couple times of the Derby and the Preakness. He's going to run, at least as of now, Halterman. So it's here. We've got them lined up. I think they're all going to run. What do you think?
Yeah, this is, like I said, this is what you kind of wanted to see. It's everything that we kind of hoped it would be. There was 5 or 6 at one time. Now we're at 8. I thought Crudo was a big intrigue to get us help, soften up Rodriguez. I think those two are going to set at least a decent enough pace. Look, I took a lot of took a lot of time to pick this one. It was definitely the longest time that it took for me to pick any of the 3 Triple Crown races. At the end of the day, I'm going to go number 7, Journalism, to win this race and make it 3 for 3 for me picking Journalism and Triple Crown races. Look, I think a couple of big keys to me. I do believe he's just the horse that has consistently ran the biggest races. He is a horse that, boy, everybody that I trust say he's just absolutely full of energy. He's not tired. So I got to take that for what it is. And I think he's going to show up and run. I just don't think these connections would enter Journalism if they thought he was just a little bit tired. You don't want to run a tired horse in this race, obviously. And you're going to hurt him down the summer as well if you do that. So I think they think he's ready to go. He's been the best horse all year, right? He did lose the Derby, fair and square. He's been the best horse all year. So I couldn't get away from Journalism. I really think he's the horse to beat.
I mean, listen, he is the horse to beat, and he got beat by Sovereignty, and Journalism's a favorite. And do you think the price, like, just before we kind of get a little more into the race, like, how do you see do you think the odds are somewhat where they'll stay as far as, or could you see Sovereignty and Journalism both be 2-1 or something? You know what I mean? Like, how better is going to separate those two?
Well, it's going to be really interesting because everybody I talk to under the whole sun thinks Baeza's winning. So if that is the case, he will go down in odds, and that will allow Sovereignty and Journalism to go up. So it'll be interesting to see. Is that just kind of the people I talk to, or is that how everybody's kind of feeling? So I think Baeza's odds and how much he's bet will be the kind of the answer to your question, because I think, when the morning line came out 8-5, 2-1, I kind of thought for a while, I thought, you know what, I think that's going to be about right. And I think Baeza being at 4-1 makes sense, but a lot of people like him. So I think the answer is this: if you like Sovereignty, if you like Journalism, I don't think you're going to be stressed about getting, a good enough price to bet to win. I think they're going to be good enough priced if you like them enough to bet them. I
think just the betting aspect alone of those three, and then mix in a little Rodriguez as well, is going to make it where every horse is going to be, it's only, if Journalism gets anywhere below 8-5, people are like, well, I can't play him at 8-5. I'll play Baeza. And then, so, you know what I mean? It's all going to be relatively kind of kept in check in some regards. Listen, when I came into this race, I kind of had my mind made up a little bit. One thing I did have, I was like, I don't think I would go in Sovereignty. I think the setup was too good for him in the Derby. And here, I just don't know that the pace setup is going to be, I don't think at all it is going to be that way. So, in that regard, I kind of said, no, I don't think he can win. So then it's like, well, it's Journalism or it's Baeza. It's horses out west. That's kind of where I'm between. And I went back and I watched every race from each of those horses, and they've ran against each other twice now, Baeza and Journalism. And I tell you what, man, if there's one thing that I love about this race, it's that kind of horse that's kind of had maybe a little bit of a rough trip in the Derby and then is peaking at the right time in this race. And dude, if it's not Baeza, I don't know what is. Like, in terms of a horse that is coming into the race the right way, has done all the right things, and just, had a bad trip. Drew, it was a 21 hole in the Derby. If you go back and watch the replay of that race, him and Sovereignty are right, side by side, basically running. And Sovereignty got the outside, and he had to go inside. And that kind of changed the dynamic because he got inside of horses, which, by the way, let's keep this in mind. Like, this is a horse that's very lightly raced. And again, I used Baeza defensively in the Derby, but I'll be honest, I wasn't like 1,000% sold on him either. You know what I mean? And that race, even though he lost, proved so much to me the way he came running, because a horse that's that lightly raced, and to kind of get the, to be in that, thrown in the mix of on the slop in the race with 20 horses, getting banged around in the turn, still coming out of that, and then firing late down the stretch. I mean, talk about an education that horse had to get there. And not to mention, he's a Mayful. He's just now kind of feeling out. And you talk to sheriffs, and he's like, he kind of says the same things. He just looks like he's developing at the right time for this race. And, if you go back and watch a few of his races, even the race he won, he looks green. The race where he gets beat by Journalism and Standing the Derby, he's like, can't run, can't keep him straight hardly at all. And then, of course, Journalism goes by him. The Derby, obviously, he felt like it was a little bit of a coming out party for him. I just feel like he is a horse on the improve. And let's be honest, those two together, Journalism, him, all things being equal, Journalism is probably a better horse, but you're kind of going up against it a little bit, I feel like, with a fresh horse in Baeza. So give me the upsetter here, number 6, Baeza, to pull it off.
Yeah, I put him in second for a lot of the same reasons. And I think the biggest thing, I think he's going to trip out. I think he's going to get a really nice trip. I think he's going to sit just behind the leaders. And I think he's going to turn for home and try to take that thing over. And then it's just going to be a matter of, okay, who's behind you? How far are they behind you? And how fast are they moving versus how fast you're moving? So, look, I think all those things are true. I think this horse is going to show up and run very well. That being said, I think Journalism's still going to be better than him at the end of the day. I just do. And I think Baeza really should have beat him in the San Diego Derby. Looking back at it, I went back and watched that one, and I was like, that was his race, and he got ran down, and he got ran down. Not easily for sure, but it was pretty decisive, and he was galloping away from him at the wire. The Derby, I think, was certainly more swinging it towards Baeza's favor. Yeah. But he still didn't catch him. So I'm just going to say that. But look, I think the key to the race, more than Baeza improving, is journalism going to be a tick below his best? Because that, to me, is where Baeza can turn the tables more so than he's improving. Because I think he's already pretty good. I think journalism, yeah, he's full of run. Yeah, he's doing great. But man, when you get out there and it's just that last quarter, does he have enough to finish it off? That's going to be the big question mark. And that's where I think he's vulnerable. However, he looked damn good in that Preakness, and he ran pretty darn well in the Derby as well. So I'm sticking by my guy journalism.
I mean, you can't. There's no that's the thing. You can't I think he answered so many questions journalism, if there were any, in last race in the Preakness, right? Like, he is just so good. He's legit. I mean, you've picked him every race, and you could argue that he should have won all three after Saturday. And so, listen, he's a beast. And I think, like I said a second ago, in a vacuum, say, or whatever, like, if all things being equal, I mean, again, Baeza seems to be improving, so maybe long run it's a little more even. But like right now, it kind of feels like journalism is definitely a step ahead, and he's kind of proven it, in 2 back-to-back races when they faced each other. Mm-hmm. But in my opinion, at least where I'm coming from, why I'm picking Baeza, why I love him here, is that you're assuming that there will be just enough of a kind of like a Baeza's going this way, and maybe journalism is just a touch not as sharp as he was.
Yep.
When he did get beat by him, or when he did beat Baeza in the San Diego Derby and even the Kentucky Derby. So, lots changed since that last race, and journalism has definitely been tested in the last couple of efforts. So that's kind of what you're banking on. I also really like the trip I assume Baeza is going to get. Doesn't hurt that I'm jumping from Rispoli, picking journalism last race, to Pratt.
Yeah.
Because you're certainly going to get a good trip out of Pratt. And I kind of think that Baeza is going to get the jump on both journalism and certainly over sovereignty. And if that's the case, it's kind of like Pratt just says, we don't have to be on the outside of, 20 other horses or 19 other horses like I was in the Derby. I've got the trip here. I've got the ground saving trip. Rodriguez is starting to come back to me, and Crudo's starting to come back to me. Boom, Baeza goes. And now it's like, can you hold off, say, journalism and sovereignty? And that's really what, dude, talk about standing up from your seats, watching that stretch run, right?
Yeah, that's going to be awesome if that is the case. You'd love all three of them to come together again and see what happens. And yeah, look, I don't know how you go into this race and feel confident about Rispoli, but I'll tell you this: I think he's going to give him a good ride, because he's heard this shit now for 3 weeks, and it's too extreme. And I think he'll show up and do well in this one. I really do. I think he's going to come through. But again, will his horse be good enough? That's the question mark there. But again, I'm worried. I'll tell you that. I say that with saying I'm also very worried about it for sure. And I would rather have Pratt, but I do think Rispoli's gonna do well enough to win.
Kind of feels like you're talking to yourself a little bit too.
No,
like, he's got this.
No, that's not what it is. Anytime you see the pylon, they usually hear it and they just ride a very conservative, nice race, And I think that's what he'll do. I think he'll just keep him wide, and if he's the best horse, he'll win. Like, I think that's what he's going to do.
Yeah, he can't. He's probably, in his mind, he can't risk another dumb trick, or whatever, getting the horse in trouble. He's out. He's already drawn wide. Keep him out wide. Let him be the best horse if he is the best horse.
Yeah, if he breaks well, he really shouldn't be inside a horse for much of the race, if any. I just kind of think he's 3 wide all the way around. You're
picking journalism, and obviously I'll be clear. I have Baeza as my win pick, but pretty much just like I did in the Preakness. If journalism wins, I win still. I'm not against him. I just think Baeza might get the best of him here. But you're someone that you've picked him now 3 in a row. You could argue, I don't necessarily agree, but some people would say he got a little bit worse of trip. Sovereignty kind of made him go earlier than he wanted to, whatever it was in the Derby. If you're backing Rispoli here, you're backing journalism, how are you not forget Baeza for a second? where do you want to see him in relation to Sovereignty, and then further, where do you want to do you want to see him get the jump? How much of a jump do you want him to see on Sovereignty? Do you almost want him to be like waiting for Sovereignty to go, and then you think he can outrun him, or how do you kind of want to see that play out?
No. Keep him 4 lengths ahead of Sovereignty. Move him, when at the right time. See if you can outrun him. You don't want to wait. You want to do it. Listen, people can be critical of the Derby all you want. That's the way I'd ride him. I'd ride him just like he did in the Derby. And if he's good enough, he'll win. The big key is you want to be about mid-pack, be ahead of Sovereignty, and don't see 45 for the half. Let's see 46, 47. That will take Sovereignty out of his game a little bit more, where you're going to have an advantage just naturally. So don't do anything crazy. I would just show him that Derby film and go, just do this. If you do this and he gets beat, it's not your fault. And so that's what he did in the Derby. Now, there were more horses, right? So they maybe spread out a little bit more. But the idea that I'm trying to get across, mid-pack, stay ahead of Sovereignty a decent amount, track Baeza. When Baeza moves, you move, push to his outside. If he's good enough, he wins. If he's not, he doesn't. That's just it. But don't do anything stupid. Just ride him like you rode him when he was winning.
Yeah, exactly. Don't overthink it. And, like if you keep him behind you the whole way, then you don't have to worry about him beating you, right? So, no, I think I have Baeza, but man, wouldn't it be something to see like top the stretch? Here we go. Almost the Derby all over again. Those two go. I mean, again, you hope journalism's going to win. I think we both would lose if Sovereignty wins. So you hope journalism pulls it out. But just to have that battle down the stretch with the two, the Derby Preakness winner, it all kind of comes down to that. That would be just an epic stretch run. And, we talked about it earlier with the 2021. That was kind of similar. You had Hot Rod Charlie and then Essential Quality, and just those two kind of separated, and then Essential Quality got the job done. But no, I mean, it definitely has the making for kind of a showcasing these three. But let's talk a little bit about the others. And I saw someone mention Hill Road, Rodriguez, even Crudo is interesting from a speed standpoint. If you want to take one of the speed horses, I had Crudo last out. He looked great, but obviously stepping way up in class here. Let's start with the speed, because that's going to dictate everything behind it. I don't think Rodriguez is going to get an easy lead. Do you?
No, I don't. I think Crudo's going to go, because to me, it's just like, well, you're going to send Crudo, right, if you've entered him, and because that's what he's been doing, and his analytics say he's going to be right there with Rodriguez. So, look, I think if Rodriguez breaks well, obviously I think he's going to get the rail for sure, and then Crudo doesn't go, all of a sudden Rodriguez is super dangerous. I don't know what it is. I'm just not confident he's going to get that last furlong. I think he's going to slow up, even if he gets it all by himself, maybe not. But with a little pressure, I just don't know that he's going to be able to last. But he is dangerous for sure. I don't think Crudo is dangerous as far as winning. I don't think he's good enough. I don't think Hill Road is good enough either. I just don't. If he gets third, if he gets fourth, I wouldn't be shocked. Hill Road, I don't think he's going to get all the way up and get the job done.
Yeah, and Kevin brings up a good point. That's why I think if you like Rodriguez, you've got to be worried about Crudo, because, yeah, even on paper, it kind of looks like Crudo is going to be fast enough, or faster even. And you got two, obviously, Hall of Famers in John Velasquez and Mike Smith riding these horses. And, that's going to be an eventful kind of first couple furlongs in itself on how those two kind of play out, because neither one of them want to go crazy on the front end. The thing that I like Crudo, he's got to step up. Todd Fletcher said going in the race, he, I don't know if you saw the quotes, but he was basically like, Crudo fits, like that's kind of like a horse that we had planned to run here, uncaged. Basically, Rapoli's making me do it.
Yeah,
basically, like that idiot pays me a bunch of money. I have to run him, but Crudo fits, and he even went further and said, like, and I'm paraphrasing, but it was basically like, we've had a stronger hand than we had, before here. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
he's not going into this race. Like, I think he likes Crudo. I think he thinks he fits, so to speak. But in my world, he fits like with the Heart of Honors and the Hill Roads, and even if you want to put Uncaged, obviously, and Rodriguez, even maybe that level. I don't see him as a win contender, but I do think I was talking to Manlow last night, and it definitely feels like one of these speed horses will stay on. I don't know which one it is. Probably Rodriguez, at least logically. But it feels like there's not enough pace where, and you see it all the time in racing, like one of the speed horses goes on with it. Now, I think these other ones will come get them either way. But it kind of feels like if you're playing the exotics, you're playing the super, you're playing even a try, I wouldn't be necessarily against you trying to keep, whether it be Crudo, if a bigger price, obviously, or Rodriguez underneath, if those stay on.
Yeah, I think I think you're right about that. I would tell you this, like, if Crudo was to win or get second, a really good second or third, I wouldn't just like fall out of my chair, be shocked, because to me, with these speed horses, the 3 or the 5, if one doesn't do their job, then all of a sudden the other one has a great shot, right? It's kind of like when freaking Cornucopian and that damn Moquette horse, who I can't remember his name now, got into it there at the Arkansas Derby. If one of those horses don't do that, they're like 8 lengths clear of everybody. So that, I mean, they're not going to be 8 lengths clear here, but that could happen if one doesn't do their job. So Crudo wouldn't shock me if he runs really well. I would be more shocked, honestly, with Hill Road, because I just think, look, okay, Hill Road, there's going to be, like, you got Journalism, who's kind of a closer. You got Sovereignty, who's kind of a closer. Like, is Hill Road really going to run down those two? I don't know. Speed King. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Speed King is still, I don't know if he's still on the track maybe from that day, but that was insane. Yeah. I surely don't, they're not going to go like that, but
no. And I'm not saying they're going to be like that.
You got to think, they're both, now that's the thing. All this could be thrown out the window if Crudo, kind of stumbles at the break, and all of a sudden Rodriguez jumps out of the gate and he's 2 lengths easy lead, like you said, and you're like, oh shit,
Yeah.
At that point, you're hoping someone like Pratt or on Baeza, says, okay, we got to be a little bit more into this race now, because if not, this horse is going to won't go away with it. But yeah, so that's you kind of have to assume that these two are going to go, and that to me is kind of a detriment to both horses. Because my thing, it's like I wanted to pick Crudo underneath or use him a lot in some spots. I'm like, if Rodriguez wasn't in the race, I could get there for sure, but he is, and Rodriguez logically makes more sense. But you're like, damn, that Crudo's in the race, and I don't know if it's kind of shown that he can be elite or look elite, where he doesn't have a horse kind of on him the whole time. And so for those reasons, I couldn't quite get there with either one of them. Underneath, you mentioned Hill Road. It's kind of like you and Samich were talking about earlier. If you like Journalism, if you like Sovereignty, even if you like Baeza, like Hill Road's going to have to outrun all of them, and it's just, I don't see it happening.
No, I think he could hit the board. I think he could get third and be like, shit, I didn't have that one. Yeah,
certainly could, especially if this thing, if say we do see a Arkansas Derby-esque type of pace where they're like both those horses are trying to go, then everything obviously could go crazy on the back end of this. But all right, so we've established kind of the pace of the race. We feel like we know what this race is going to look like on that standpoint. When they hit the top of the stretch, do you think Baeza will be in the lead?
I think so. I think Baeza's in front. I think Journalism's starting to bear down, and I think Sovereignty's about 3 behind. And then I think it's on from there. We haven't really talked about Sovereignty a whole lot, and I think we both kind of just have this feeling of, I'm not sure the pace is going to set up for him. And we've seen what happens when that doesn't, and so you worry a little bit about that. But that being said, I do think he's going to round the corner and be within range. The difference here, Saratoga is hard for deep closers to win without a little bit of help, and he's going to need some up front. That's going to be the worry. Belmont even said it. He said he's ready to go. He's going to fire if the track is fair. And I thought that was a very important comment. If the track is fair, I think he's got a big chance. He said that because the track really was not fair for most of the summer last year when Sierra Leone couldn't win over this track and then got away from this track and won the Breeders' Cup Classic. They're the same horse in terms of how they like to run. So that is the worrisome part with Sovereignty. That being said, something that could really go in his favor, what if it rains again? Because the rain certainly did not hurt him last time out in the Kentucky Derby. So I think that certainly could help him. And also, what if we do go 45 and change to the half? All of a sudden, he becomes a big-time player. So I still have a lot of respect for him. I think if things kind of set up for him, he can do the same thing he did in the Derby.
I think he'll attract a lot of bettors. Let's put it that way. I think he is a looker. I think when you see him on the track, especially if he doesn't have an off track, people are going to be all over him, and for good reason. You know, you mentioned this track. He's one of the few horses in the race that has actually ran here, and that was, of course, he debuted. Now again, that was 6 furlongs. It doesn't count really, but he could.
Do you remember what we said that day?
He couldn't make up any ground.
No, but do you remember what we said after the race? That was a great race. A lot of good horses. The one that finished 4th is the one you have to look out for. Because we knew it, Mott, in that breeding, it's like he's not winning today. But look out. And he was a looker that day as a little baby 2-year-old.
He was 11-1 that day.
Yep.
Finished 4th behind Tip Top Thomas, Rookie Card, and Keeladin, or whatever that horse's name was.
And guess what? Tip Top Thomas has won once. Rookie Card, I think's won once. I think he's on one of these races actually Saturday. Keeladin sucked, and then there it is, the Derby winner right there. That was on Traverse Day. Yep.
Closed well, but that's it. And so that's again 6 furlongs versus a mile and a quarter, totally different games. I get that, but it was at this track. And, I think that is a point to be made that if the track is playing, which it does, like you mentioned, could be in trouble. Now, you mentioned how the track will play if it rains, and we'll talk about that for a second, because the one interesting aspect of this race, and I'd even argue Rodriguez wouldn't be hurt by it either because of, especially who he's sired by, but you got to think that they're all it's one of those cases where, Baeza ran well in the Derby. Certainly journalism didn't run poorly. He ran well. So it's like, even if it rains, it's not, you can't really, you maybe can elevate him a tad bit more, Sovereignty, because he did look like it helped, but you certainly can't hurt any of these other ones either. Like, you can't, the track is not going to be an excuse from a surface standpoint. Weather-wise, it looks like rain. Good thing we're not going Friday, maybe. But I think Saturday looks like in the morning could be kind of rainy off and on during the day. I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever if it's a fast track. I don't think it's going to be sloppy. But again, we talked about this the last episode earlier the week. You just don't know. A storm could pop out of nowhere and it dumps rain. And it also could be clear and sunny all day.
Here's what I'll tell you. The forecast isn't bad enough to where you really need to start preparing right now. It's just not. Now, could it happen? Yes. But the way I see the forecast, I think we're going to have moisture on the ground. I don't think it's going to be like the Derby where it was just slop and it rained a lot. However, like I always say, up there at Saratoga, very, very, very tough to predict. So you kind of got to keep it in the back of your mind. You got to be ready to pivot, but you don't have to be sitting here today saying it's definitely going to be sloppy. That's how I would look at it. It's just kind of 50-50, what happens. But I do, like you were kind of saying, all 3 of those Derby horses ran well enough in the slop to where you're not really concerned. But again, I will say, Baeza and journalism, they kind of, if you believe in numbers, they kind of ran their similar or same race. Sovereignty ran a much better race over it. So I do think it elevates Sovereignty, not saying that it hurts Baeza in journalism, just saying, and hey, I don't know, maybe it was the pace, maybe the horse is just getting better, or maybe it was the slop. But if it was the slop and it's rainy again, that helps Sovereignty, in my opinion.
I mean, here, let's just kind of go by the numbers, so to speak. I think we've established that San Felipe was freaky. Maybe the number was a tad high, but you ran a 102 in the San Antonio Derby. That's journalism. He ran a 102 in the Derby. So the surface didn't hurt him at all. It also didn't really feel like it elevated him. San Antonio Derby for Baeza ran a 101. He ran a 102 in the Kentucky Derby. Again, very similar. Can't really say it did one or the other. It didn't hurt him. Let's put it that way. Sovereignty had ran a previous high 95 buyer in the Fountain of Youth. That was his high buyer. He ran a 104 in the Derby. So he elevated it 9 points, which is fairly dramatic for a horse to make that jump into the Kentucky Derby. Now, it wasn't totally unexpected. It's Belmont. We knew he was pointing to the race. But, yeah, I think you can sit there and make an argument that the surface elevated him a little. I'm not saying it was an excuse, but I do think it is a logical reason to say, well, hey, if the track is sloppy on Saturday, Sovereignty would have a slight edge over Baeza and journalism. So, any love? We haven't really mentioned Heart of Honor, another horse that ran the Preakness running back. Do you think he could get a piece of this underneath?
No.
Okay. Enough said. Okay. So, final thoughts on the race. What do you think is going to happen? Who do you like? Give me the bet.
Man, the more I looked at it, I just thought the 6 and the 7 looked like the horses to beat. I'm going to go number 7, journalism here. Again, I think he is the most consistently good horse in the race. He's beaten Baeza a couple times already. Definitely could turn the tables. There are definitely logical reasons that Baeza can turn the tables. That's why I like him in second, and then I like Sovereignty third. And I just think it's going to be one of those things. Baeza's going to be a little bit in front. Journalism's next. Sovereignty after that. They hit the stretch. Who's better? I think that's what we're going to see with the only monkey wrench if Rodriguez gets out there and sets a slower pace than what I project. And then all of a sudden he's going to be in there with a big shot as well.
Yep. I think you and I see it pretty much the same, other than I'm thinking Baeza doesn't let him get by. So I hope that we get to the stretch, top of the stretch, and we can just sit there and see between you and I which one's right, because we'd both be right, because we'd both use them on both and on everything. But listen, I just think Baeza's coming into the race kind of with the most. He's certainly with, like you talk about the hype. He was a hype horse in the Derby. If he got in, now he's still. I mean, people love this horse, so that is going to be interesting how he's bet. But I just love the way he is completely he's turning into a racehorse, and he's obviously running well even when while he's kind of improving each race. And so I think this might be the race he finally gets the job done. Sheriff's shipping a horse out here, and really from the jump, like said after the Derby, he's like, no, we're going to Belmont, and that was it. It was just like, here, we're pointing to the Belmont. I think he gets the job done. Baeza for me, give me that 4-1. Hopefully he's anywhere close to that. Baeza over journalism in the Belmont.
So one comment before we move on. Right now, and oh gosh, it's too far up there now, but there was like $200,000 in the pool. And I think Baez is like 5-2.
Yeah.
So he's
it honestly could be like 9-5, 2-1, 5-2, somewhere in that ballpark.
I'm with you. I think it's going to be close between the three because again, everybody I talk to is picking Baeza except for me. So
I know. And everybody hates Sovereignty. You know what I mean? Like, no one wants to pick Sovereignty. So it's like, how are the odds actually going to be, though?
I know. I'm sitting here going, you know what? Maybe I should pick Sovereignty. You know, so because if the Derby winner's 3 or 4-1, that's crazy. You know. So
do you think the hype would have been more or less on Baeza if they skipped the Derby and Preakness and ran here? That'd be interesting.
Oh, it'd be less. It'd be
way less. I think the Derby. For me, I mean, I can just speak for me, but it totally made me a believer.
The Derby made everybody a believer. And can I say, here's the deal. I like him too, and I don't want to I don't want to say too much negative about him because I agree with everything people are saying. The results of the Derby really, they don't carry over a lot of times. That's a worry for me. When they ran a normal looking race, he had a huge chance and he got beat by journalism. I can't not get that one out of my mind. That's where I'm at with it. But again, I'm on him for second and I've got him played and stuff too, but I don't know. The Derby was a weird race.
One last thing that before we consider and talk about the handicapping aspect, but for a day or for a year where after the Derby, we talked about it, Sovereignty and the connections building on the next race, and it had the Triple Crown had some concerns, right? And you're like, this is going to be awful. This whole trail, the rest of this is going to be awful. And now we're talking about the Preakness definitely was insane. Journalism obviously made that go. And then here we go. We got the showdown. I mean, yeah, it's on the Triple Crown, but God, I mean, talk about just a complete reverse after what it felt like after the Derby. Now, granted, it was nice to have a Derby run somewhat to form.
Oh yeah.
The first in many years, but after you're like, oh shit, we're not gonna, journalism, no way he's gonna run. Baeza's skipping the Preakness, Sovereignty's skipping the Preakness. Who's even gonna run in the, so the fact that we're getting that, we got that race, and that we're gonna get the top 3 out of the Derby in this race, it's certainly gonna be, and let me be honest, 3 very clearly top 3 horses in the division.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as long as we get a really, a good competitive race, or I'll even throw Rodriguez in there because we don't know. We don't know what he would have done against those fields, right? So you got those 4. It's like as long as we get a good race and we see what they're made of, it's going to go down as one of the better Triple Crowns we've had, other than when a Triple Crown is actually won. You always kind of put that asterisk on there, but non-Triple Crown, years, this is about as good as you get. I mean, this is really good. Like I said, they have this rematch, but then have a horse like Baeza and have a horse like Rodriguez to add that intrigue and that doubt. That's what you want, man. And so I think I'm with you. Like it's going to end up being one of the better Triple Crowns we've had.
Well, you can make it. There's such cool storylines with the 2, at least the top 2. And certainly, guys, we have half a year left. So, like say Baeza goes and rolls here, then you're like, oh shit, like did this horse win the Travers? Could he win the Pacific Club? Like where is, like, maybe journalism had his moment. Now it's him now. So then there's of course either one, Sovereignty or journalism. If it's journalism that wins here, you sit there and say, oh my gosh, he lost the Derby, and he ran all 3 legs, so it's not. And then if it's Sovereignty that wins a race, you're thinking you skipped the Preakness and you won the first leg and last leg, and you skipped the race. So it's like either way, you've got a potential situation where it's like these are one of the best non-Triple Crown winners, at least that we've seen in recent history.
You're gonna, say journalism wins by a couple, you're going to sit there and you're probably going to sit there and say the damn slop beat him or the pace beat him and he should have done it. And, rah, rah, rah. Right. And then if Sovereignty wins this race,
yeah.
Forget about your bets, but you're going to feel a little like sick. I think like, oh my God, he probably could have done it, Yeah. So it's gonna be weird. It's gonna be weird for sure. And then if Baeza wins, you go, man, if he just got going a little bit earlier, he could have done it, So or Rodriguez wins, you're like, oh, if he hadn't gotten hurt, So there's a lot of storylines in this one.
And if Hill Road wins, you say, oh my gosh, shoot me now.
Oh, I hate racing.
All right, guys, there you go. There's a look at the Belmont Stakes again. Halterman and I will both be there live. So if you are going to be there, make sure you hit us up, say hi, and hopefully we hit some winners together. Oh, first of all, before I move on, guys, now is the time to go get that Belmont Stakes betting Bible. It is available. It was put it out there this morning. The final version is available right now at racingdudes.com. You can go get your hands on that. It's got the exact bets. I've got some interesting bets, kind of the general consensus of, I think, Halterman and I both, but especially how I kind of saw the races, pounding a lot of horses, a lot of winners on top. I more of the, not necessarily the trifectas and exactas, but, doubles, win bets, that kind of stuff. And so hopefully we get some winners home. And the betting Bible is available right now over at the website. John Wyatt's got his picks. Everyone at Racing Dudes got their picks there as well. And again, it is available. You get it for free if you are a premium subscriber. And speaking of premium subscribers, coming up next, I just checked on them. They're all still waiting. the Racing Dudes Belmont Stakes for $1,000 coming up next. Get ready, boys and
I'm
girls.
excited. I'm excited.
Let's see. Let me check on him here. Hang on. Let's bring him into the. Let me bring him into the screen. Let's see. Where are they at? Oh, there they are. They're good.
There they are.
There they go. There they are.
Come on.
So again, as a reminder for those of you, we did this on Derby Day, and we gave away $1,000 to William B. Bill in the chat, and gave away $1,000. We literally, if you're a premium subscriber, it gets as cheap as $70 a month. You get all our betting Bibles for free. Premium picks every single day for every track running. Obviously, this time is a great time of the year with Saratoga, and then of course summer racing kicking off. You get all that for free, but we're giving away $1,000 to a random subscriber each month. We drew 20 names on Monday, and now those 20 names from our subscribers list are going to run for. There you go. Well, he's in the chat. There you go. Is anybody in the chat that's in the race? Like, if you are in the chat right now, I want some people to pop in there, and so we can root with you here. If you are in the chat, that are also running in the race, but we got 2 minutes on the clock. I don't know. Muddum. I don't know where Muddum's at.
I don't see him.
6'9" exacta.
Do we have is there a Dan? Somebody said Dan's in here.
I'll read the name. It's the 1, Philip L. Number 2, David F. 3, Jeff M. Joel G is 4, Todd B 5, number 6, Chris H. 7 is Marco R. 8 is Michelle G. 9, Daniel H, which is Dan, I suppose.
That's Dan. Here's Phil. Phil's here.
All right, Phil. Number 10 is James G. Amanda K is the 11. The 12, Sam A. 13 is Brian L. 14 is Rebecca S. Muddum, the 15.
Muddum.
Alfredo L is 16. Kenny P, not Kenny G, is 17. 18 is John B. Charles B is the 19. And rounding out the field all the way there on the outside, old Gerald H.
Let's do it.
So, Joel, you're in here. You're the 4-horse, right? Yep. Can't tell. I think you are brown with a blonde blaze. I don't know. I can't tell. They're all, once they start running. All right.
I'm nervous.
Are you nervous?
I'm nervous.
Again, if you win, we literally will send we'll shoot you an email, or you shoot us an email with your PayPal details. We'll send it over immediately. So $1,000 on the line. Get your Belmont weekend started off right. One of you 20 are about to win this thing. Are you ready, guys?
Let's do it.
Are you ready? All right. Here we go. Horses, are you ready? They're ready. 3, 2, 1. There they go. And they're off. Charles B off to an early lead. Joel G. Hopefully you've got plenty of legs, Joel. Joel G. Now Alfredo takes the lead. Again, this is a long race, guys. 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's a 2-minute race. Don't get too excited. There's James G up in front.
Look at John B, the 18, now taking the lead. 10 with James G.
Oh, Muddum. There's Muddum.
Muddum, the red. Good-looking horse there.
Yeah.
Rebecca now wants to lead.
Looks like one I've seen. Look at Jeff.
Again, guys, this is a website. It's a randomizer. So essentially, it's all it is a randomizer, but done in a really fun way. So you just put the names in, and it does a different result every time.
I'm glad they don't have jockeys too. Come on.
We're almost halfway through the race, guys, and Gerald makes an appearance.
Pretty horse up there.
Look at that color.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
we got Alfredo wants.
Alfredo.
He's back in. Gerald is flying. Oh, now he's done now.
Oh, look at this. Oh boy.
48 seconds. Good. John B.
Joel G.
Joel, your horse is running well. You got to give him credit. He's running well.
Philip.
Oh, now I say that now.
Look at Philip. Oh, he dropped back.
Oh, here we go. Gerald.
Joel G.
30 seconds. Come on, baby.
Oh, Muddum.
Muddum.
This is good. This is better.
Oh, we got a doozy. 26 seconds left, folks. They are all lined up across the track.
Oh.
Brian L. now takes his nose in front. Rebecca's still sticking around. Gerald isn't going away there on the outside. He's got the lead actually right now with 13 seconds left. Gerald,
oh my gosh.
Gerald H. Who's it going to be? Todd B's making a run.
Todd B.
Todd B's making a run. AMA. Todd B. Todd B. Todd B.
Got it.
Oh. Wow. Didn't call his name once.
I never even saw him.
Todd B comes flying late. Wow. Whew.
Wow. Look at Todd. He's so happy. Look at Todd B.
That was intense, guys.
That was better than last time. Yeah.
Todd B, congratulations, Todd B. You are the winner of $1,000.
Look at
Todd B. What a run. We got to show a replay of that.
I just love the little France.
Todd B, Sam A, John B. Muddum finished 8th.
Oh, Muddum.
Joel, you finished 11th. You made a nice run a few times, but just couldn't go on with it. I thought Gerald I thought he was going to win. He fell to 5th. Wow.
Well, Joel, I thought was going to win at one time.
Yeah. I mean, listen, they all looked like winners. At least as top 5 looked like winners. And then Todd B said, no.
Yeah. Well, this David F, he would be way off the screen and he'd get into 3rd and then he'd go way off the screen again. I kept watching him.
Oh man. So there you go. Again, this is if you guys haven't seen this before, it's called online stopwatch. You can see it on the screen there, but it's just, me and my kids do it just for fun sometimes, but it's just like changes it up every time, and we take some screenshots of this so we can announce the winner.
Yeah, who's what was the full order of finish, or just maybe the top 10?
Todd B, Sam A, John B. That's your top 3.
Okay.
Brian L, Gerald H, Amanda K, Daniel H. Muddum was 8th. 9th was David F, and 10th was Jeff M. Let's see who got last place. Anybody bet on the last place? Michelle G.
Oh.
Look, the ladies, Rebecca, 19th to 20th. The Phillies couldn't quite keep up. Amanda did, though.
Yeah, Amanda. I thought Amanda was going to win at one time. Where'd she finish? Like 6th, maybe?
All right, guys. Oh, man. Hey.
All right.
Congratulations. Again, we'll shoot out an email to Todd. I'll show him the screenshots there. And yeah. That's a lot of fun. So yeah, I'm tired just watching that.
I am too. I'm exhausted.
It's I don't know. Run it back. Run it back. Hey, we might run it back. We might do it again. Are we doing another one? We did it kind of special for the Triple Crown.
Yeah.
So we might bring it back either for Travers or Breeders' Cup. Obviously, it helps spur on subscribers.
Yes.
And it's fun, right?
Yes.
I think people would still do it if it was like $50 just because they get to watch the race. But $1,000, that's cool, man.
Yeah, Travers could be good. Yeah.
Yeah. Travers would be fun. And obviously you want it to be around big races so you can there's good reasons to be subscribing as well, but you can kind of play it with the Travers. I think 20 is the right number though. It's even though we did it for the Derby, but 20 just feels like a lot of fun.
Yeah, you want to get as much people involved as possible, but you can't put 300 horses up there to run either. You know what I mean? So kind of got to build the excitement out.
Yeah, William B. You can win again. So that's the thing. He almost got drawn the other day. William B. did. So
yeah,
we might be able to see a rubber match between you and Todd. So
yeah, I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, Patrick, that's a whole other thing. I'm gonna, what we start having odds on these horses, live odds.
That'd be fun.
I can barely keep up with making the race calls. I don't know how these guys do it.
Oh my gosh! Well, that was a great call. Todd, when Todd made that move, you picked him up fast. So, great call.
I was all over it. Well, I was watching the back of the pack there, seeing if anybody was going to make a run at these leaders as it was getting down. he looked like he was making a good run. You know, he had some stamina there left. So
Yeah.
we'll see. That 2 minutes is tough for a few of these people. You know, it is the last 2 minutes. It's tough. So
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It was very tough. Very, very tough.
Kevin, you know what we're talking about.
Kevin
all right.
certainly knows.
That is a wrap. And congrats again to Todd B for winning the Racing Dudes Belmont Stakes. All right, guys, that's all the time we have. Check us out at racingdudes.com for our free picks and our premium selections on our products page. Click the Get Racing Dudes premium button at the menu at racingdudes.com. Remember to go get that betting Bible. It is available right now at racingdudes.com. We have full coverage of not just the Derby or not just the Belmont, of the entire 14 race card. So everything you want is included there. Top fours from every race, from not just us, but the guys at racingdudes.com, including John White, the AI. We'll see the machine versus John White. See how those line up this time. But again, that's available. You can get it for free if you are a premium subscriber, or for $39.95. We're on Twitter at Racing_Dudes, Instagram, Facebook, and you can find us all our episodes over at Blinkers Off on the website or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, everywhere you go. YouTube, hit us up on YouTube, hit that like notification and subscribe. We have a ton of content there related to the Belmont Stakes. And again, once again, hit us up. Halterman and I leave tomorrow afternoon for Saratoga. So if you're going to be there, we'll be there all day Saturday and Sunday, hopefully making some money.
I think we will.
I feel good about it. This feels like a good card. I feel really good about this card. Now, what that means, what that means for Saturday, we'll see. But I feel good about it.
I mean, yeah, I agree with you. I felt pretty good about the last couple, 2 or 3. So, but yeah, you just never know. I mean, that's racing. You know, you got to get out there and what'll ever happen will happen. I will say, I'm doing pretty well the first 2 days of the meet. I don't know if that's good or bad or not either, but if you're watching Saratoga, you're going to watch the 10th race, root for 3, 6, 9, 10. 3, 6, 9, 10 will cash the pick 5 for the Rockets. So 3, 6, 9, 10. That's who you need to be rooting for in the last race.
All right. Kevin says, I'll miss first post Saturday. I'm not going to miss first post Saturday.
There's no way you'll be there first post Saturday. Come on.
Well, to be fair, I'm never on first post on the big races. So
no.
That's a whole other thing.
So here's the deal.
Maybe I will.
If you're ever going to make it to the first post, it'd be Saturday with the setup that we have.
Yes.
It would behoove us to get there maybe 2 hours before it starts.
Whenever the gates open, it would make sense. Yes, because by the way, I did confirm this.
Yes.
That I believe it was a $2,500 budget as far as the food and beverage. $2,500. Okay.
Not bad.
We can probably get there.
Yeah.
But it would take some work.
Well, we're going to have to get there early. That's
I'm just saying. Open bar, dude. Open bar. It's going to be insane. Yeah, we'll be up in the clubhouse just doing our thing, hopefully making some money and probably, listen, I don't know if you guys will ever see us because, we'll be up there hanging out with the schmucks.
Oh, I'll venture down.
Yeah, that's 7 high noons at Saratoga. That is true.
That's true. You rack it up quick there. No doubt about it.
Yeah, come on, man. We got room.
No, we don't have room.
No, well,
Oh, yeah, no, not on. I thought you meant the hotels. Like, no, he's not.
No. You're not get your own.
Yeah. Come on down. Yeah,
in the box. Yeah. Yes, please.
Yeah. If you want it, you can have it for sure.
Yeah, good top shelf too, Halterman. Well, although we got to make sure. I mean, we are pros at this, but we got to make sure we see the Belmont. So,
all right, you don't have to.
Well, you need to. I mean, preferably.
Well, I mean, yeah, okay. I'm not going to argue with you.
And then the difference of if Baeza or journalism win, then the night gets escalated mightily.
I think it's going to get escalated anyway, honestly.
Well, you could look at it both ways, I guess. Drinking sorrows or drinking celebrations, one way or another. But
I will be excited, from a workload standpoint. When the Triple Crown ends, it's always a little bit of a relief. So yeah, I would say Saturday night will be a fun night.
Honestly, we didn't even mention some of the undercard. Obviously, we cover everything in the Belmont Stakes betting Bible, but one big key race of the whole day for not just the racing in itself, but for my bets is going to be in the Met Mile as well. So listen, honestly, if I can get Fierceness and either Baeza, preferably Baeza, or Journalism home, then I mean, I'll buy your drinks. How about that?
Oh man.
But I really do like Fierceness. I like him a ton. When I looked at that on paper, we talk about that all the time. When you really go into the race and look at it on paper, I don't find a lot of ways he loses that race. So excited to see Fierceness. But I guess I should ask you, any horses or races that you're excited about other than the Belmont?
All 14.
Not all 14. Maybe all the stakes.
Well, all 13. Yeah. One's the Belmont, so the other 13. I'm serious. I'm excited for every single race.
Thanks.
Thanks, I mean, like we have with our setup, if they were running dogs, it'd be fine. Like it really would. Like what difference does it make? Like all the work's going to be done. We're going to have free alcohol. We're going to sit there all day. It'll be great. I'm looking forward to every one of them.
I think these are two first. I think I don't know. I'm at a point now where I feel like he's got rid of that. He's ran 4 straight really, really, really good races at this point. So I feel like it's fair to kind of take that that label, I guess you want to say, off of him.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about that anymore. I agree with you there. I do understand why that's always going to be in the back of people's minds, though. I do understand the question for sure. Yeah, I mean, I think he'll be fine.
And Manlow, I don't know. I mean, it's a 5-horse race, so I don't really get too worried
I think draw on the rail. I think what'll happen, as long as he breaks well, I think you're going to be okay, because I think they'll get him out. I think the 5 will kind of cross over, and then I just think they'll float him to the outside. I see your point, though. I mean,
you don't want to be sitting there getting pressured on the inside the whole time. I get that.
Yes, especially with him, because what's kind of been the one thing they kind of try to do, keep him outside and keep him wide. So they're going to have to maneuver him a little bit. But I think what Jared said is accurate. It's not like he's got to maneuver around, 8 or 9 horses to his outside. There's going to be 4 to his outside. I mean,
we know the 3 is not going at all.
No.
And the other, the other ones to the outside, they can kind of let them, do your thing. And even if that means you have to, give up a couple of links. I mean, he's shown the last couple of races that he can sit off of it. So.
Yeah, I think that's a key. But both questions I do think are valid when it comes to him, because I think you do have that kind of scenario of what if he's in behind, what if he's getting dirt in his face, what if they won't let him out? That could be a problem for sure. Or if he doesn't show up, that obviously will be a big problem. So,
that is that's for sure. He does. One big thing for me as well. He, he's back. I mean, not to say he can run at all distances, but, he won on his debut at Saratoga. Mind you, if it does rain as well, he did it in the slop. We were there, won by 11. He's 3 for 3 at Saratoga as well. So, even Pletcher kind of mentioned how much he seems to like it at Saratoga. And I do think as well, the fact that, now maybe I'm reading into it more, but I think the fact that Pletcher, you don't see mind frame in the race. You don't see, he thinks he's going to win. He's not messing around with entering multiple horses. Like, I think Fierceness is the horse he thinks he's going to win. So, and honestly, I'll say even go further. I don't think White Barrio is the biggest threat. So, I'll just say that. Okay. Final thoughts before we leave. Tonight kicks off game 1, NBA Finals.
Mm-hmm.
Our Thunder against Manlow's Pacers. What are you thinking? I feel like they should win tonight, right? Thunder?
Yeah, I think so. I think they're going to win. I think they'll get off to a really good start. I do think it'll be a little bit tougher than what people think. I think it might be a 6-game series or so, but I do like the Thunder, and that's not going out on a limb or anything. They look like the best team, so I think they'll get a nice win tonight and get started well. They're very tough at home, and I think they'll get it done.
It's gonna be a fun game,
Mhm.
fun series, but fun game to kind of see. Both teams obviously
Mhm.
are that they're not the Knicks or the Celtics or whatever. So you've kind of got that they both want it really bad, and the Pacers have been a little bit underdogs, whereas Thunder have been the favorites. But they have both have really great defense and have scores.
Mhm.
So it's going to be. I think this is going to be a big game for either team to kind of hopefully establish
Yep.
kind of where they line up. Like you don't want to come if you're the Thunder, you certainly don't want to come out and lose to them night one at home.
That's how you make it a lot harder on yourself,
Correct.
for sure. Yeah, they've got to come out and play well. I think they will.
I think so, but it'll be fun. So
Yep.
tip off tonight. Great hockey game last night as well. Unfortunately for you, you didn't win, but I mean, from a Stanley Cup Finals type of game, like can't ask for much better than that.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of money on this one way or another. I didn't have a lot of confidence, but I did pick Florida, and I will continue to kind of support them, bet them. But yeah, look, it was a really good game. I hope we get 7 games of it. That's kind of my biggest rooting interest is just a long series because I think they're the two best teams. I think they're going to be. I think it's going to look just like last night. There's going to be stretches where you think, yeah, Edmonton's better. And then there's going to be stretches like the second period where you go, oh no, Florida's way better. So I think it's going to be back and forth like that. And look, I mean, a dumb penalty kind of ended it last night. Just unlucky penalty really more than anything. So anyway, I think it's going to be a great series.
Yeah, McDavid's a freak. Like that guy, you
yeah.
can just you don't even have to watch hockey. You can just
No.
watch playoff hockey or whatever. You watch him on the ice, you're like, yeah, that guy's different. Just like when you see any other sport, you're like, oh yeah, that guy's different.
Yeah, he's the best player in the league without any doubt. He's one of the best players. By the time it's over, he'll be one of the best players to ever play. He definitely deserves to win a Stanley Cup. It could come, and he's got Draisaitl, who's fantastic as well. So it's the big difference is they also have a lot of depth this year that's playing really well. Where last year it wasn't like that. So but you're right. Every time McDavid's out there, it could be in the back of the net. I mean, he's just that kind of guy.
Dude, that the winner, the
Beautiful.
Not just he had a great pass, but the pass to him was insane. Like just the whole setup was like just perfect.
Yep.
So yeah, it was a great game. Don't you have a few? I was thinking about it last night. I was like, does Halterman have a future on Florida, or who was it you had a future on?
The last year is when I had the future on him.
Okay, that's
last year I had him at a big number and they came through. 2 years ago I had him at an even bigger number and they made it to the finals and lost. So
maybe that's what I was thinking about.
I had a future on Vegas this year.
Okay. Yeah. I remember I was like, dude, I think he's got one. And then I was like, I couldn't. It felt like it was weird. Like maybe I'm just getting old. Well, I am getting old. It was like it felt like it was a long time ago. You told me, but I also was like, but I feel like it was at Oakland with Ryan, but that was not this year. It was the year before.
So 2 years ago, I bet them at like 45-1. And they got to the finals and lost. Then last year I had them at 20-1 and they won it. And now this year I did not bet them. They were not healthy the last month of the season. And I was concerned that they might not be healthy / might not gel back together quick enough. And I was wrong about that. So I had Vegas and they stunk. So.
Oh, by the way, you can't let me forget. You got to send me a reminder. If I forget this little thing, then we're gonna be watching it from the grandstand. So
yeah. Remember that. Maybe put it next to your keys right now.
I'm gonna put it in the bag I take, like my computer bag. That way it's already there.
Okay.
But all right, guys, let's get off of here. Hey, quick last thing. The Bengals flag football. Shout out to them. Play this week, Friday, tomorrow in the Super Bowl. Going for that repeat, and I won't be there. So I listen. I've done all I could do to get them there, and now it's just it's in my assistants and then in the players' hands now. So we lost our first 2. I texted you. I said I don't think we're going to win a game all year, and we've won 6 in a row since. So
yep.
Come on, go! The only time I'll ever say in my life, go Bengals. So
yep. You were crying over the phone, and now you've won 6 in a row. So
well, you know what? Good coaching, man. It just kind of comes through. So
that's right,
dude. For real though, this happened the other night. We were playing a team, and we were playing the best team in the league. They were undefeated in the last game on Friday night, and they brought in because they had a kid missing or couldn't be there or whatever. They literally took a kid off of a different team and put a different jersey on him to have him play against us. And I called out the coach, and he got all defensive and stuff. But I'm like, dude, you care that much about winning in flag football that you're pulling kids off of other teams. It's like, I'm telling you, man, it's like this weird fine line of like, well, we don't care. It's just flag football too. Like, no, we care big time. Like the coaching, the kids don't, the kids are kids, but
that's crazy.
They literally took, and it was like, I was like, hey, and he's like, oh yeah, we just needed in case we had extra kids or needed an extra kid. And he's playing quarterback. He's literally your quarterback right now. It's it's not like you just had him for a body in case, you needed one extra kid, which even that would have been like, all right, whatever. He was playing the whole game as a quarterback. You're like, and I'm like, that kid looks familiar. Oh yeah, we played him 2 weeks ago. And it
obviously didn't help.
Oh no.
So
no, we gave them their first loss, and it was I wanted to say something like you should have got more players off another team, but I didn't. But anyways, let's get off of here. We'll see you guys. If you're gonna be at the track, make sure you say hi. Otherwise, we'll try to. Oh, no, we won't. I'll be posting a lot on social, so you can follow along with us there. But probably won't get drunk, Jared, on the live for the Belmont. You'll just have to come there and hang out with us to see it in person. So, all right, guys. I'm Jared Welch. He's Aaron Halterman. Good luck in the Belmont Stakes.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Blinkers Off. Join our horse racing community at racingdudes.com and follow us on Twitter at @racing_dudes. Want to make money betting horses? Bet with the Racing Dudes.